Hi, this is Kate Charles, Managing Director of Red. We're here live at the Promenade, and I am absolutely honored and thrilled to be here with Ndidi, who is the President and CEO of the One Campaign. Hi, Ndidi. Thank you for joining us.
It's my absolute pleasure.
Can you tell us a little bit about your role?
Well, I have the amazing fortune to be at the helm of the One Campaign, which was started 22 years ago by Bono, Bobby Shriver, and Jamie Drummond. And our mission is to fight for equity and justice and the investments to ensure healthier lives and economic opportunity in Africa. We are so proud to be a sister organization and parent organization to Red. So congratulations on your 20th anniversary.
Thank you. Okay, equal player for all. What do you mean by equal player for Africa? What does that mean to you?
This is Davos, one of the most important gatherings in the world. When you count the number of African presidents here, the opportunities they have on the main stage, and even just the number of African companies, you see a huge disparity. So when we see an equal player on global platforms, an equal player when it comes to finance, an equal player when it comes to a voice, unfortunately, we're far from that reality. And so these are the type of issues we take on at One, fighting for fair financing, fighting for a voice, fighting for a seat at the table, but also fighting for investment to drive growth, to create jobs, but also to ensure an equitable livelihood for most people.
What do you think some of the world gets wrong about Africa?
I grew up in Nigeria, moved to the US at 16, and I was confronted with this face of Africa, being a hungry child, and the face of poverty, being a female farmer from Africa. It made me so sad because it was a single story. Single stories are dangerous. There's complexity all over the world. There's poverty in many pockets of the world. And Africa does not have a premium or a hold on this narrative. Unfortunately, it's been perpetuated by the press, by a lot of bias, by racism. And this is something that I have committed my life to changing. Over 70% of our population is under the age of 35. We are a bedrock of creativity, fashion, tech, food and agriculture. We have some of the best food in the world. We need to showcase the diversity, the complexity of our continent. Yes, there are pockets of poverty. Yes, there is difficulty, but this is not the only story.
So one of the things I know that you're really passionate about is food systems.
Food is life. Food is culture. Food is love. But food is medicine. No sick person can get better without nutrition. And you can't have economic opportunities without food, because over 70% of the population in Africa works in agriculture and food systems in some capacity and nourishing the world. And I'm very committed to using food as a way to build bridges and change narratives about the continent.
Let's move a little bit into the last 20 years and what is some of the biggest accomplishments, or what are you most proud of?
Well, One has had such a rich history and there's so much to be proud of. The PEPFAR story, some of you might be aware that at the height of the Iraq War and a Republican administration under Bush, Bono, Bobby Shriver, and Jamie Drummond were able to convince a sitting president to support the fight against HIV/AIDS on the African continent. And PEPFAR is the presidential initiative on HIV/AIDS. It saved 26 million lives, over $100 billion committed to solving this challenge. And at the height of the HIV/AIDS epidemic, it cost $10,000 to treat one person. Wow. Now we're down to close to $25. And that's because of innovation in medicine. The second is debt forgiveness. We had a Drop the Debt campaign. We were able to partner with many amazing organizations, the Catholic Church, the Jubilee campaign, to actually have $110 billion forgiven in debt. And thirdly, we're really proud of how we've partnered with many stakeholders to drive Africa's voice on the global stage. We fought for Africa to have a seat at the G20. And for the first time, South Africa hosted the G20 in 2025. We saw so much achieved and a lot of narratives changed. So that gives me so much joy and pride, because policy changes are lasting and they make a huge difference for generations to come.
What is your take on the private sector and the role that it has to play?
The private sector can drive innovation, and to partner with many organizations like Red and other civil society organizations and advocacy organizations to drive change. We need the private sector to be committed with how they do business, to do well and to do good. Doing well and doing good by how they run their companies, by their commitment to equity, justice, by how they treat their employees, their customers, their suppliers. Private sector has to be a beacon of hope and show that even in darkness, they can be the light.
Tell me a little bit about your hopes for Red. What do you see coming in the future for Red?
Look at what Red has accomplished in partnership with the Global Fund. Close to $1 billion that has saved hundreds of millions of lives. My hope for the next 20 years, we have a new and renewed commitment by private sector partners to work alongside Red to double and triple that impact. I'm excited to see what we can do together.
Thank you so much for being here today. It was an absolute pleasure. I look so forward to partnering with you and working together. Thank you.
Me too. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.